Support for Dipping Milk and Cookies comes from Axel Strat LLC, but we'll get into that a little bit later. In the meantime, let's jump into today's episode. A podcast is an episodic series of spoken word digital audio files that a user can download to a personal device for easy listening. Streaming applications and podcasting services provide a convenient, integrated way to manage a personal consumption queue across many podcast sources and playback devices. A podcast series usually features one or more reoccurring hosts engaged in a discussion about a particular topic or current event. Discussion and content within a podcast can range from carefully scripted to totally improvised, like this one. Podcasts combine elaborate and artistic sound production with thematic concerns ranging from scientific research to slice-of-life journalism. Many podcast series provide an associated website with links and show notes, guest biographies, transcripts, additional resources, commentary, and even a community forum dedicated to discussing the show's content, which hopefully one of these days we will have that same kind of following with Mike, what's this podcast called?
Dipping Milk in Cookies.
That's the one.
Welcome to Dipping Milk in Cookies with your host Garrett Cookie Smith and Michael Milkman Segovia. Go ahead and cue that outro.
Alrighty then. Welcome to another episode of Dipping Milk and Cookies. I am Garrett Cookie Commander Smith. With me, as always, Michael Motherfucking Milker, Master Motherfucking Milker Segovia. How you doing there, fella?
I'm good, man. I'm all right. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, you know, I'm a lot better now that we're finally recording. It's been a couple weeks, man. Well, no, it's actually only been a week, but for me, it's a lifetime. It seems like nowadays. So it feels good to be back, even though we're kind of improvising this one in the living room. We got some friends, dinner folk in the kitchen right now with the newborn. So if you hear a little understand. It's our good friends Lizimich and little baby Isla in the kitchen enjoying some tacos on Taco Wednesday. But yeah, dude, it feels good. It feels good. You fall into the routine, you know, and then you take that out for a week, and it's funny how it can, you know, affect you. Granted, it was the 4th of July, and there was a lot of drinking involved, and there was a lot of non-motivational Gary. So it kind of explains itself. But, you know, been at it for, this will be episode 37. Episode 37 already. Fucking crazy.
I think we've only skipped 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And not really. Technically we've skipped 2, but we made up for it. So technically we've only skipped 1.
Yep.
So we've been trying to do our best to stay diligent and to really be consistent, because obviously with podcasts nowadays, that's what people are going for, is consistency.
Well, then too, when your schedule changes around, we'll probably be able to just knock out a couple like on a Saturday or something.
Yeah. I mean, at first I was really for that idea of like just trying to bank as much like content as we possibly could. But if you want the podcast to stay somewhat relevant, you kind of have to stay current, like with, you know, the weeks as the weeks go on. Not saying that we won't do that, because there's definitely going to be a couple of weeks in our, you know, foreseeable future that are going to definitely be phone-ins, you know. So yeah, it wouldn't hurt to
yeah, like
to
next month when your birthday's 1 week and then mine's the week right after.
No, that'll be our hungover episode. We'll do it together, because I'm sure we'll party together at least one of those nights during those 2 weeks.
Yeah, my birthday's on a Saturday, so
yeah,
I wish you'll be working.
Yeah, well, no, my schedule will flip by August,
Yeah.
so I'll have the weekends back.
Maybe we can go out like we did last year, go down to Camino. Me, you, and Emily, and Jenny.
Yeah, for sure. We should definitely do that. But yeah, good to be back. I mean, I've seen you enough in the last 2 weeks, but at the same time, you know, when you got everything set up, you sit down, you start talking, and it's nice. How you been? How you doing? How you holding up?
Good.
Yeah.
This heat, I mean, it
No
sucks.
fucking joke.
It's nothing like, you know, being in California where it was just like a dry heat.
Yeah, that's a dry heat.
That was
It's a
different.
dry heat.
That wasn't even that bad. I mean,
No, it
was
was
hot,
still fucking
sucked,
hot.
But like, I would rather take that than this 92 and humid.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here with
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah.
Other
Thank
than that,
God for air conditioning.
yeah, other than that, it's been good. Just doing lots of driving since our last episode. I went out to my dad's out in Adams, helped him do a garage door, and then that sucked. That was fucking hot. It was 90 something outside, and then 100 and something in the garage, and we would go out there, work for like an hour, just drenched in sweat, come back in and just fucking sit for 2 hours and cool off and just drink a bunch of water.
Yeah.
And then so that was fun. Like, I left right away Thursday after work last week, so on the 2nd, and then I had Jaylene with me. Oh man, she started the trip off so funny too. I mean, it wasn't funny for like her and the guy that was involved, but to me it was kind of funny because it was embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
I got embarrassed, but so we stopped at Speedway, and we got some snacks, put them on the counter, go to grab our drinks, and then as we're walking back with the drinks, she walks up to this guy, and now he was a black guy, and I was just thinking, like, when she tapped him, I was like, oh, she's gonna probably say something nice, you know, but she tapped him right on the side. She's like, excuse me, sir, that's our stuff. And I was like, honey, it's fine, he's paying for his stuff, we're next, don't worry about it. Well, then she like looks at me, and then just right away just melted down and just like, man, he's taking our stuff. And then the guy looks at me. He's like, bro. I was like, hey, you're fine, man. Don't worry about it. So I had to like walk her away because she's screaming and pointing at this man that he's taking our stuff. And I was like, don't do that.
Sweetheart, you
Don't do that.
No,
He wasn't ready.
no.
That really fucking set the day off, right? Because then as soon as we got on the freeway, she passed out like 10
Of
minutes
course.
right after
Thanks, babe.
that.
Thanks for the contribution.
Yeah, I could feel myself get all hot and sweaty too.
Ah,
And I'm
yeah,
just
I might
like,
fight a
oh, man, I can
motherfucker
get
right
beat
now.
up right before I go to my dad's. Just get beat up fucking 2 blocks from my
Just get
house.
fucking balanced out. We're not going anymore.
No,
We're not
sorry,
going anymore.
Dad, not
Why?
confused.
Why not? Ask Jaylene. Ask that one over there. I'm gonna go ice my fucking face.
So then, yeah, I got to my dad's at like midnight. Got up right away, started doing that door.
Yeah.
Then left, came back
Oh, and that heat.
on that
Ugh.
Saturday for the 4th
Yeah.
by Jenny's sisters, and then
Enjoy some fireworks.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's nice.
It was like almost $2,000. Everybody threw in
Mhm,
between
mhm.
like her parents and
Mhm.
sister and Alex and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, dude. Fucking going out to Marcus's on the 3rd on that Friday.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude. His dad is the fucking guy. He literally, in Matt's garage, like the whole, if you broke the garage into 4 quarters, the back quarter was to the ceiling with fucking damn near, oh, Jesus Murphy, damn near to the ceiling with boxes of fucking explosives. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. And I brought my little scorch torch, so I was like the second in command with like Garrett, get over here. That was fun. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off though.
Oh no, it was alright. I was just gonna say then,
Kylie's.
yeah, we did the fireworks. It was cool. Like
Mhm.
they didn't do the fusing correctly, so we had like the grand finale in the beginning.
And it all went off at once.
Dude, it did. It started
Yeah,
like
yeah.
blowing shit up.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
We had to move into the garage because it was like shooting sparks.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
debris at us.
Yeah.
And then just today was a lot of driving. Drove to Sheboygan, then drove to Fond du Lac, and then back down here with the kids.
And
Oh,
then
man,
we
bro.
did our fucking dicking around,
Yeah.
which, by the way, folks, we have got some really, really quality photos coming for we'll call it season 2 of DMC. Man, all I gotta know is Crockett and Tubbs. We'll just leave you with that.
And it definitely looks a lot fucking better. I don't look like a complete retard when I'm doing it.
Use that yard word.
Oh man.
Yeah. The first photos. Yeah, I mean,
I
that
was just
your
happy
first.
to be there.
It's your first photo shoot, man. That's you got to get used to that shit. Like I said before, you fake it till you make it, baby.
Yeah.
And, I
usually
mean, who
when
else
Jenny-
is doing fucking photo shoots for their podcast? Nobody else. Exactly.
Yeah.
We pay for that shit. We pay good money for it. Thanks for hooking it up, Axel Strat. Like I said, we'll get into that a little bit in the middle of the episode. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Your solo shot, though, bro. That's gonna be the money shot. Which now, like I said in the car, like, dude, I was here, and now you're here, and my goal is like through the roof now. So it's coming, man. It's coming. But yeah, let's jump into the episode. Let's do that. We're gonna do a podcast origin episode. It seems kind of fitting. We try to be as informative as we possibly can. You know, keep in mind we're both dullards, so.
Yeah, 'cause I don't even know what that means.
So we're gonna do our best, but we figured it was in our best interest. We have some responsibilities, man. Obviously, if we're gonna use the platform to try to supplement some stuff, we might as well talk about it a little bit. So, podcast, man. Did you know that the name podcast, the actual name, was a combination of the words iPod and broadcast?
I actually did because I had just noticed that when I was doing a little
Yeah.
looking around for something.
The term podcasting was first suggested by the Guardian columnist and BBC journalist Ben Hammersley, who invented it in early February 2004 while penning an article for the Guardian newspaper. The term was first used in the audio blogging community in September 2004 when Danny Gregor introduced it in a message to the iPodder dev mailing list from where it was adapted by Adam Curry. Despite the etymology, the content can be accessed using any computer or similar device that can play media files. Use of the term podcast predated Apple's addition of formal support for podcasting to the iPod or its iTunes software. Other names for podcasting include netcasts, which sounds lame as shit, intended as a vendor-neutral term without the loose reference to the Apple iPod. All right, I get that. This name is used by shows from the Twit.tv network. Some sources have also suggested the backronym Portable On Demand, or POD, for similar reasons. I didn't know that, and it's really funny because we've been doing this for a little while now, and I never knew the history of the actual name podcast. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was more of like it started off like on radio,
Mm-hmm.
and then because on the radio they do their podcasts too.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you miss the show, you can go ahead and go back to listen to it whenever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's honestly where I thought that whole thing came from. Yeah, man, I thought it was just like, hey,
Oh, you know what I just caught myself doing?
doing the fucking thumb thing.
No. I'm gonna sound like Mr. Pig, fucking from Wayne's World. They're sitting in there trying to promote Wayne's stock. He's just like changing tapes. He's like, yeah, mm-hmm. You're talking. I'm just like, Fuck. Wait. I'm sorry. I wasn't giving that a respect.
That's all right.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off midstream.
Just that I really thought podcasting came from radio, like shows. You know, you miss an episode, hey, we have a recording that you can go back and listen to the audio file on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, our website.
Yeah.
But I guess I was way off. Samsonite.
Yeah.
Way off.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, podcasts. Let's see the history of the podcast in October of 2000. So this is 20 years ago. Keep in mind. So the whole idea of like blogging or vlogging or putting out any kind of audio recording outside of music entertainment was unheard of. So like the first time I was listening to The Honeydew with Ryan Sickler. Really great podcast. That guy's got the best laugh. But he was talking about it with somebody on his show today. Just like, you know, when people talk about radio, it's just like, well, what's nowadays? It's like, what's radio? But 20 years ago, when people said, oh, yeah, we're podcasting, the people in radio were like, what the fuck's a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's a beautiful fucking shift of dynamics because, I mean, honestly, man, the radio game nowadays, like, it's always been cheesy, you know? Guys, Crazy Kyle coming at you from WKOP. And it's just like, dude, what do
the
you
fuck up.
right? God, yeah, exactly. I'm turning the channel.
Every
Are you
time.
playing music? Are you playing music? Unless you're talking about something that I really want to listen to, i.e., sports on a radio network. I don't want to. I have literally zero interest in what you have to say.
Yeah, that's why I switched to just full time like sports talk radio.
Yeah.
Is because I'm so fucking sick of listening to these DJs talking like sausages. It's like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
just shut the fuck up
Yeah.
and play music.
Just
and then
play
when
the goddamn song.
They don't
Just
even
hit the
play
button.
music I fucking want to hear.
Yeah, that's the other part too. It's just like the radio game nowadays. It's so censored that you can't enjoy anything on there. They can't swear. They can't be human beings because I don't give a shit who you are. If Tom Segura's got a bit about it. It's just like fucking a grown ass man told me to watch my language. It's just like I said something and he was just like, "Whoa, buddy, language, clean it up." It's just like that guy's got somebody fucking hung up in his basement right now. Like you can't. Swearing is like it's a human thing, man. And like yeah, sure. I can see how it can be deplorable at times, but at the same time, I've heard on more than one occasion that people who swear more, but like in a tastefully, contextually correct way, usually are smarter than the dude that's like, you swear too much.
I
So
feel like
that's why
how I swear is always
contextual. Yeah, contextually proper. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, you listen to the radio, you can't fucking enjoy that shit because it's all sugar coated, watered down bullshit. There's a lot of agenda. There's a lot of ulterior motives. With,
that's
with,
because
with,
these
with
fucking
radio.
all the radio stations. It's all cornered by other corporations.
By conglomerates,
that
by
can just tell
big
you,
companies.
Like, no,
like
this
hey,
is the direction we want you
Yeah.
to be going, and then it just propaganda
and
just
then
spreads.
yeah. So with podcasting, obviously, Sirius XM. What was the other one? XM Radio. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
XM
XFM.
Radio. Yeah, XFM, and then Sirius Radio. Like when those guys, or Sirius XM, when those guys hit the scene, like that was like hell yeah. Finally we can enjoy radio the way it's supposed to be enjoyed. A bunch of adults, like, yeah, we still have a program. We still have stuff that we have to do. We have segments we have to hit. But I'm going to talk to you like you're my fucking neighbor, man. Like, there's no more, hey, how you doing? Like, that's so fucking cheesy. Nobody believes that unless you're fucking 70, 65, 70 years old.
That's what was cool too about the drive down to California is Anthony has that in the car.
Mm,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
The whole fucking 32
It
hours
was
in the
just
car.
fucking
it was,
music.
yeah, it was
Just music. You'd hear
Little
somebody
snippet
pop
come
in. Yeah,
like,
he'd
all right,
come in.
This
This next
just
block,
happened,
this next block
yeah.
is, from this time.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. Axel Strat is a company built on core values of integrity, sustainability, and innovation, and is passionate about finding solutions for business growth. By working together, they will find activities that add value to your business while creating a framework that is flexible, yet structurally sound and allows your business to grow profitably. Alex Weber, founder of Axel Strat, is bringing a new, fresh, organic approach to doing business in today's ever-changing landscape. Equipped with a Bachelor's of Business Administration, Accounting from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Associates in Music Production and Recording Technology from Madison Media Institute, and coupled with real-world experience as a financial controller, Alex is a leader in business administration using analytical and creative approaches to developing sustainable business growth strategies. Now, right now, our listeners are going to receive 15% off any service for up to the first $300. Yes, you heard that right. 15% off any service for up to the first $300. Let me explain here, folks. Anyone who has looked into any kind of photography, videography, graphic design, branding, social media management knows that it can be a little pricey. Okay, so why pass up on a fantastically ridiculous deal? Again, 15% off to the first $300 when you use the code DMC. Okay, very, very important, guys. Make sure he knows that we're the ones that sent you to him. Otherwise, you will not be able to get this deal. To reach the great staff at Axel Strat, please call 818-585-8742 or send an email to ateam@axelstrat.com. Again, that is ATEAM@axelstrat.com. The number again, 818-585-8742. Prepare yourself to be stratified. But yeah, coming off the road, when we're on on the highway for that extended period of time, it was a nice change of pace to have some consistent radio, not consistent radio, but consistent music.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that we were listening to a Sirius XM kind of situation. But yeah, I wanted to talk about some of our favorite podcasts. Obviously, I mean, we'll let you go first because I could probably talk about my favorite podcast until the fucking sun comes up. So I know that you're more into the not necessarily story like the book on tape kind of podcast, but that's essentially like your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
It kind of brings that vibe. What is that podcast?
So my favorite podcast is called We're Alive. It's
Okay.
a story of survival. It's a zombie podcast. It's got 143 episodes. They range somewhere around 30 to 40 minutes. And then like you'll have a season recap episode that's like 3 hours long. But the reason I really like those is because it's just actors on a stage that are reading these lines, and then a person goes through, chops it up, the usable lines, and fills it in to where they need to be, and then that gets passed along to somebody else. They throw in the sound effects, and then now you got this whole thing all set up. And there's no visual to it, so you're just listening to it, and you build the scene, you build everything that's happening, you create these characters in your face. Like I associate a lot of the character, like this one, the main character's name is Michael, so automatically I'm like, well, that's me.
Immediate correlation.
Yeah. And as it goes on, these characters, you start to listen to them, you get their backstories. Like to me, I love that because it's, I feel like for any kind of like movies or story, like anything like that, characters should always have a backstory. Like you should always know something about them, like, and let it continue to grow, because then that's how you build the relationship with the characters.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like Walking Dead, I associated myself with Rick because I had an older son and then a younger daughter, and then now we just had, Lincoln. So it's like, oh, well, that's me.
It's relatable. It's
Yeah,
relatable. Yeah. That's what makes good content.
Yeah.
Be it video, audio, whatever it may be. As long as there's some sort of relatability factor, you're probably going to be in good shape.
Yeah, it was. It first premiered May 4th of 2009 on iTunes, and then it finished its last season July 29th of 2014. So during that time, that 5-year time, they had those 4 seasons and then the 143 episodes. And honestly, even to this day, I can still remember snippets like that I remember that were just so vivid. Certain scenes, like a guy watching this girl that he just met that he was falling for just get to be bashed by these things, and like there's different types of zombies. And then what was really great about this is because it's such a popular like ensemble podcast that they did backstories and origin stories for some of the characters. So some of them might only be like a 6-part miniseries. I think they have like 3 more other ones. There's one that talks about the prisoners and like where it started. There's one about like some of the soldiers, and then it just like kind of kept going. So that kind of stuff for me I really enjoy, because it just creates a giant universe that you can just paint it yourself.
You use your imagination. Yeah.
And that's what I feel. That's why I really enjoy like radio, like talk radio, because I take the words that people like. It helps me learn more words. So when I'm listening to stuff like this and I hear something, like you use words a lot of times that I don't know what you're saying, and I don't always look them up, but then all of a sudden I'll hear it again, and then I can correlate what's going on. So I don't know. It
buddy,
kind of makes me a little bit smarter too.
You can always ask.
Oh, I know. I
You
know.
say, hey, whoa, what does that mean?
No, I know.
Never feel ashamed for fucking having to ask.
Oh no, I
about something
don't.
like
I
that.
just usually.
Words are fucking weapons, kid.
I always think I'll just figure it out.
Yeah, well.
But it's great. That's one thing for me. It's really enjoyable, is getting to just listen to it, because I listen to it like in the car when there's no one else around.
Yeah, man.
No interruptions.
You can really enjoy it.
Yeah, like it's, to me, I can do that instead of sit there and watch a movie for 3 hours. I can listen to this for 3 hours because I'm doing something else too.
Yeah.
I can still be productive.
Exactly. It's very good ambiance, very good background ambiance. Yeah, I've listened to a few episodes with you. I know you've had it. You've had it on the radio and in the car when we've gone on long drives before.
Yeah.
And I actually did listen to a little bit of it by myself when we were cutting grass the first time, because you'd been listening to that shit for a while.
Yeah, I've listened to it like the whole series. Probably 5 times.
Yeah. I remember you talking about it back in the day, so I remember listening to a few episodes while we were cutting grass for fucking Who Shall Not Be Named.
It can be tough to get into for some people because it's just a story. You're just like, all right, but like
those, Mike, those are the dullards. Those are the people that don't have the imagination to make that worthwhile listening to. So don't ever feel bad about those fucking dickheads. Stop talking and chain yourself to a tree, you dickhead.
Just watch that season too.
Yeah, I know. I really need to watch that. So aside from We're Alive, what other podcasts do you find yourself listening to, man?
Bill Burr. I think it's
the Monday Morning Podcast.
Bill Burr, yeah.
Yep.
Justin Long has one too. I've listened to some of his. Shit. There was a couple other ones that there were story ones too, but the seasons I fell off on the seasons, but I forgot what they were. But they were good too. I listened to Your Mom's House with You a lot. Shit, all summer last summer we listened to all,
just about. I made you listen to just about all of them, all of them that were available on Spotify.
That's kind of like helped us kind of really push it too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt that if I hadn't been turned on to Your Mom's House, which ironically enough, the person that turned me on to that podcast is sitting in my kitchen right now, holding their little baby. So I think that's poetic justice right there. But it's called Your Mom's House. It's Tom Segura and his wife Christina Pajitsky, Christina P.
Bless you.
And Christine. No, it's Christina. But yeah, it's these two stand-up comedians, husband and wife, that just talk about fucking nonsense. It's just nothing but nonsense, but it's exactly, I mean, for the right mental makeup pose, it's the perfect mixture of like real world emotion and like just fucking shenanigans that make you laugh, but then you can what's the right word, you can self-reflect, kind of, you can look I don't want to say introverted, but introversely you can kind of like, I remember being in a situation just like that, and I remember being really mad about it. But then when I hear them talk about it, it's just like, oh God, why didn't I see that? How did I not see that? Instead of being all fucking mad and I'm fucking laughing in their face, which is twice as fucking devastating to them. So yeah, I've been binging Your Mom's House for a while now, and they've got, that's the cool thing about YMH Studios, man, is like Tom Segura is a business man. That dude knows what's up, and I'm kind of emulating his framework, because it's solid. He's got his own podcast studio, obviously, that hosts his own podcast, Your Mom's House. This fucking guy, he does Your Mom's House. He does Two Bears, One Cave with him and Bert Kreischer. He does Tom Segura en Español. Like, he does his own podcast in Spanish that he usually has his mom on a lot, and it's so fucking funny, dude. You can watch the episodes on YouTube and just put the subtitles on, and it is fucking ridiculous, some of the shit that he tries to get his mom to do. But of course, motherfucker's got money, so she's just like, buy me a bag. And he's just like, all right, well, fucking read it already. But yeah,
Dr. Drew.
Yeah, that's the other one I was just about to say. Dr.
Which
Drew
I think
After
that's
Dark.
what's funny too, is because Dr. Drew's a well-known man,
dude.
The fact that he's like really good friends with Tom,
and you know what's fucked
so
up
funny to
is
me.
we witnessed the decline. All due respect, Dr. Drew, I love you. I love Dr. Drew After Dark. It's a great fucking podcast, man. But it's funny when I said that to Alex before, just like, did you think that all your fucking photography schooling and everything would lead you to this shot right here? Doing a bathrobe, fucking drinking milk from a champagne glass. Christina P is like Dr. Drew's co-host on Dr. Drew After Dark. So like she'll bring shit from your mom's house to Dr. Drew. It's just like, did you think after all the years of all your medical training, this is what you'd be using it for? Oh my God, it's the best. It's the best. But yeah, so there's your mom's house, Two Bears, One Cave, Tom Segura and Espanol, Dr. Drew After Dark. Christina's got her own podcast called Where My Mom's At. And even though the Honeydew just left studio or YMH Studios, he just went to his own standalone, which is fucking awesome because Ryan Sickler is fucking hilarious. But they used to host the Honeydew, so that's like five different podcasts out of the same studio, man. Like, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure out that like that dude's got a really great business model. Clearly, he's got the traction. They have got the traction for it. I keep saying he's got it. Christina, like me and Emily and Liz, ironically enough, we all went and saw Christina P at in Milwaukee the last time she was in town. I got the picture and everything. She's funny.
McDonald's money.
Yeah, no. They snagged their sponsorship, man.
I thought they gave it back.
Yeah, but they took it away again.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, Your Mom's House, that obviously is numero uno on my podcast list. Two Bears, One Cave, that's coming in a close second. There is a podcast that Seagrass fucking turned me on to. It's called Who Would Win, and that's that one that I was talking about when we did the Batman versus Iron Man one.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of crazy like versus battles, and some of them are pretty ridiculous. But I would say 75% of those episodes are really good. They're really, really good because it's the same kind of thing. It's just a couple of buddies, a few buddies sitting down in a circle. All right, man, you did your research. I did mine. Okay, it's this person versus this person. Go. And it turns out really, really well thought out because there's sometimes like these guys. I remember it was like it was Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone versus like fuck. Oh man, I can't remember, but I remember Macaulay Culkin, and it was on his home turf versus somebody else, and it was just like this super well thought out like a plan of attack. Like, even though Macaulay Culkin's a kid, whoever's walking in his house isn't leaving. Because they would talk about like the actual physics. Like, do you understand if a full paint can came swinging down a pendulum that was at least 4 feet long, and you're charging up the stairs, and that shit cracked you in the face? That's caving in your fucking skull. Like, you're not getting up from that. You're not going to get up and slip on the micro machines.
No.
Like, dude, that's a good one too. Who Would Win? That's what it's called. Who Would Win? There's the Koi Pond, Joe Coy's podcast. That's a good one. Hannibal Buress, he doesn't do it anymore, but the Handsome Rambler, that was a good podcast in my opinion. I always enjoyed that one. The Monday Morning Podcast, The Fighter and the Kid, that's fucking Brennan Schaub, and
That dude's so funny.
oh fuck, what's the other guy's name? I just started listening to them, just because of the whole fucking Dalia thing. It was just yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
The guy next door, man.
He's probably just trained too. That
He's
man.
probably just in the bag right now. I don't want to do this anymore.
Look over at Leo. I don't want to do this shit, man. That's some stuff from Brennan Schaub's fucking little skit on This Is Not Happening. That shit is so fucking funny.
Yeah, if you haven't watched This Isn't Happening, it's a YouTube series that you can find that was hosted by Ari Shaffir and then by
I don't remember.
can't remember what his name, but yeah, Ari Shaffir. It was Ari Shaffir's show. But yeah, it's just comedians telling like the worst stories of their lives. And Brennan Schaub used to be an MMA fighter. And yeah, just Google or YouTube Brennan Schaub, This Isn't Happening, and I guarantee you will laugh. That's a really, really good episode.
It's so good.
My fucking ex is yeah. You like me now, bitch.
yeah.
And then she watches me get lit the fuck up.
Oh, that's why she got put there? She's dating the guy
Yeah,
who beat my ass?
Yeah, right. Damn. I'm going to watch that again tonight. I'm going to have to watch
might
it
do it
tonight.
too.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to
That shit
fucking
is
laugh
so
my
good.
ass off. I'll put it in my earbuds and just laugh. Emily won't know
Yeah,
what's
we'll
up.
put it right on the TV, right in the living room.
Yeah, that's actually a good call.
Show it to Jenny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, man, podcasting for me, for us, you know, going into the future, I feel like if you come proper,
That's how babies are made, man.
well, yeah, I mean, yes, if you come legit, well, if
Same thing.
if you show up proper,
Yep.
if you show up to the gig proper,
Mhm.
I feel like you have a pretty good chance of at least gaining some sort of traction. And honestly, you know, with podcasts, it's a very awesome outlet to kind of just, you know, wring out the sponge, so to speak, for the week. Call me Dr. Seuss. But yeah, I feel like this could be something. I really do. You know, you put your time in, you got to stay consistent. You know, we had our couple of week flubs, but we're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. You going anywhere?
No, and it's getting better too because you're figuring the program out more and more each week.
Yeah.
And you know, we're adding stuff, you're fixing things, so like it's definitely gonna progress to a point where
Emily's-
we get better equipment too.
Yeah,
like,
Emily's talking about going to school. She wants to get a MacBook. So
cool.
hopefully that fucking happens soon. God damn, these Modelos. They're killing me. On that note, we should probably wrap this up. I know you got to go home. What is it, 20 after? Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, we went fishing today.
Yeah.
Dude, oh man, fucking seagrass fucking caught a fish and broke his fucking rod. He was so mad. But in his defense, it was like a fucking 2-foot carp, dude. It was a huge fish. I had a couple of fish. I had a couple of big ones, but like the rod that I was using, the rod that I was using was like Harley's like growing up like rod, and you didn't have the right line on it. So like I'm fucking dump me a marlin, and then it just fucking snapped my line. That happened twice. I had one of them bitches slapping on the top of the water though. That was cool. I haven't gone fishing in so long, bro.
I was gonna say, dude, I want to.
It's been a long while.
My guy Garrett, White Garrett,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
been telling me, he's like, dude, just go fucking fishing.
Yeah, that's literally, we just walked down the street from Amanda and Anthony and Amanda's house, and there's a pond right there.
Tight. Harley there too, or just on tight?
Yeah, all three of us. It was it was so funny when Seacrest broke his shit. Because, like, Harley was, like, across the pond on the corner. I was, like, splitting between the two of them. And Seabass was, like, kind of over this, like, drain. And he caught one. That was sizable. And I actually got pictures of that. Caught that one, went back to the same spot. And then as soon as he threw that back into the water, that's when that big fat fucker, like, just came out of the tunnel and just sat right there. And then Seagrass, he just dropped his fucking line. He just dropped it right into the water. Fucking got him and started tussling. And then all of a sudden he said, broke my fucking rod. And the whole walk back, he was like speechless. He's just walking with this little short. He like modded it up. Like he even got the fucking the line out with the fucking bait and everything like that, and the lure. And it looked real pretty too, but it was fucking 12 inches too short. He's just walking. It's fucking Harley's just like, he's so bummed. He's like, we're walking into the house. He's like, normally when we're walking back, man, it's just like Seagrass is fucking just pumping the jams and shit. It's just like, like his fucking like his dog just died, dude. It's so funny. I'm sorry, Seabass. That shit was funny. I'm sorry. That's all right though. We'll do some more fishing. Harley, you gotta buy a boat. You gotta buy a boat, kid. We'll go fishing a lot. You come up here, we'll go fishing on Lake Michigan. I said that when I was down there. But yeah, on that note, let's wrap this motherfucker up. Facebook.com/dippingmilkandcookies. Go like and share the page. Come on, people. Like and share that shit. We're still stalled out at 464 fucking likes. It's been like that for
we got
like
another
a
one
month.
today, I saw.
Ooh. I want to see like a 20 like gap. You know,
Yeah, I know,
come
I
on,
know.
people. We gotta get better at sharing that shit though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Facebook.com/Dipping Milk and Cookies. Go like and share the page. You can find us on Podbean. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes. You can find us on YouTube. Freak bitches. Go like, subscribe, share all of that stuff, man. Because like when you like and subscribe, all that shit is spent on YouTube. Even if you don't listen to the fucking episode, like and subscribe to the channel. It just helps us gain more attention from the YouTube algorithm, which will eventually push us out further. So help.
Help me help you.
Help me help you. 50 cents goes a long way. What else? September 19th, the band. We've got some pretty cool stuff in the works. Unfortunately, Toledo Death Fest, our show in Indiana, they got canceled. But obviously 2020 is fucking canceled. But luckily, we kind of put ourselves in a pretty good position where we lucked out, where we actually have something really fucking cool happening towards the end of this month. So keep eyes out for that. Mike?
No, I got nothing else, man.
Nothing? All right.
No.
All right. Well, then next week.
Well,
What?
No, we won't talk about that.
What?
The photo shoots.
Oh, no. We did a little bit. We got to keep the little scissor reel out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, if you don't know, I started a solo Cookie Commander Facebook page. Mike also started a Master Milker page, but we are waiting for something before he lets that guy go live. But again, keep your eyes open for that, because it is gonna be so goddamn good. It's gonna be great. He really set the bar high on me, and I'm really not too sure how I should feel about it. But I can guarantee you this: something really great's gonna come of it. That's for sure. So keep eyes out for that. Next week we will be doing, I think, the 80s. I think that was the...
I had the list in my phone.
I know, I got it in my notepad in my backpack here. I just don't want to look for it. I'm pretty sure it's the 80s. Hell of a decade. You know, golden decade, really, if you think about it. Brought a couple of legends onto the planet. So then, yeah, we'll talk about that more than likely. So, until next time... stay happy, stay healthy. I love you, bud.
Love you too, man.
All right, everybody be good. Bye.
Produced by the Dank